Hey everybody, Christy from Happy and Healthy TV here with you guys today, doing a product review. Um, so I'm always looking for new products when they come out in the store, and I get really excited to try new things. I think that's probably one of my most favorite things with going food shopping is like running down well, not running, but kind of going down the organic aisle and just checking out and seeing what's like new and good. So I always like to find products for my patients who are on the go, which who's really not these days, if you think about it for a minute. I apologize for all that dinging back there. Facebook is very busy for me in the evenings with me talking to all my Lyme pals who all have insomnia. Anyway, so I do apologize if you guys hear that in the background, but I'm sorry again. Anyway, so taking a look at something pretty neat. So I've worked with clients all across the country, and then my previous corporate job was a national company, so I got to know all of the grocery stores throughout the country. Obviously, there's different ones in different places. Some grocery stores are not in all places. Like, for example, like Florida has Publix. We don't have that. We have, like, up here in New York, we have, like, Stop and Shop and Best Yet and, a few other chain stores that may or may not be found in other places. Now, one of the places that I don't usually go to unless it's an emergency and I need to pick something up is 7-Eleven. 7-Elevens are in most states across the country, not all, but they are in some. And what's been interesting about Sebs is that they've kind of, quite honestly, I'm impressed by a lot of the things that they've done over the years. I actually wrote an article a couple of years back on what do you do to survive if you can only find fast food or convenience stores, restaurants and things like that type of thing to purchase food if you're on the go. So one of the places that I had reviewed one day was 7-Eleven. And again, this was back 2 years ago prior to some of the products I'm going to show you today had come out. One of the suggestions I had made to clients or patients, was to really just look for the more fresh food they have. No offense to 7-Eleven, but I would not recommend for a patient, obviously, to go in there and go buy a hot dog or one of those little nasty things that they keep in that, what is it? Why can't I think of the word of it? A line brain moment, guys. You guys know I have these frequently. They're basically kept under like heat lamps and things like that. And it was like mini tacos or something, and empanadas and stuff like that. I mean, sure, if you want to treat yourself, I mean, fine. But that wouldn't be something I'd recommend, of course. They do have a lot of fresh fruits and things like that. And they have those little snack packet things. You can buy nuts from there. So yeah, you can definitely go in there and do a pretty decent job if you're like on a road trip or something and you want to pick up something that's not necessarily unhealthy per se. Now, I was really excited about 4 or 5 years ago when 7-Eleven started carrying Naked brand drinks. And I recommended Naked drinks to clients when Naked was still owned by a company called Fresh Samantha's. I don't think a lot of people know about this. Fortunately for myself, one of my dear old friends was working as a produce manager years ago, and I was able to go ahead and at that point really understand the organic industry more, from his experience working where he was working at a chain grocery store here in New York. So, yeah, so Naked actually got bought out from Fresh Samantha's and was bought out by the Pepsi company, or Coca-Cola. One or the other, it really doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned as a nutritionist, they're both evil, and dumping high fructose corn syrup and bizarre things there. Once that happened, I started looking at the back of Naked drinks and honestly was really just unfortunately saddened by what they started putting in products. I think their blueberry drink, I'm pretty sure that's the one that I'm referencing, that I'm thinking of in my mind. They started putting some very strange ingredients in there. One, the words natural flavors came up. Now, if anybody out there who's gluten intolerant like myself knows, natural flavors a lot of times are derived from gluten. So if you weren't aware of that, there you go. That's something new to learn on today's video. They also started putting stuff like inulin, weird stuff. I mean, this is not normal. Cellulose gum in some of them. And cellulose, if you don't know, is wood pulp. So, yeah, let's have some organic fruits and vegetables, well, not even organic fruits and vegetables, genetically modified fruits and vegetables. Let's keep that in mind. So these are all GMOs. There's nothing in there that's organic, unfortunately. And let's add wood pulp to it. That tastes delicious. You wouldn't do that in your home kitchen. Like, oh, let me go out and chop a tree and put some wood trimmings in there and drink this. It's just nasty. They use it as a binder in products. And you'll see it a lot, unfortunately, in gluten-free products, too. A little bit here and there, I would presume, would not hurt you. But then again, that's not something you want to be putting in your diet, of course. So I'm standing in 7-Eleven like 2 or 3 days ago, and I happened to look I looked down at the naked drinks. I'm like, some of them don't have these strange things in them, some of the strange ingredients. So I think some of them might still be maybe a little okay. Certainly it's better than going and eating, a couple of hot dogs and having, like ice cream or something like that, so at least, you could look at that piece of it and say, all right, I'm kind of at least putting some fruits and vegetables in my body, even though they are GMO and my body doesn't really break them down well. I've always kind of on the fence with stuff like that. It's hard to tell a patient or just anybody that's asking general advice, like, what do you do there? Do you pick the healthier thing, or do you pick the thing, regardless, if you're picking up apple slices from 7-Eleven, they're going to be genetically modified anyway. No offense, 7-Eleven, but they're, at this point in time, hopefully it's one day soon, they're not carrying organic stuff. So, but this was really neat. So I saw this. So again, this is 7-Eleven's own brand. They made this themselves. And as you can see, I obviously like this so much, I drank a lot already before this video came up. This one, it's their cold pressed juices. So first of all, if anyone has watched my videos in the past, I love anything cold pressed. If something's cold pressed, it means that it's not been processed. They're just taking something and pressing it and just getting the juice out of it. And in this particular case, actually going ahead and blending it up and including the pulp and everything, which is really what you want. Most people are not aware of the fact that a cup of apple juice is equivalent to eating 8 apples. I said 8 in one sitting. Now, apples are good for you, but if you think about the sugar content, even though it's naturally occurring sugar that's found in there, it's fructose, which is sugar coming from fruit. That's not a good thing to have all of that sugar. I don't know exactly. I'd have to go out and measure it. How many grams of sugar in 8 apples, but I know it's definitely over the recommended daily allowance. So something to keep in mind, guys, when you're looking at those types of things. So this is really cute. On the back, it says it's positively balanced, 100% fruit and veggie juice, made from certified organic fresh fruits and vegetables. So 7-Eleven is actually making organic juice. I thought that was like the coolest thing under the sun. I was very impressed. Naturally free from artificial preservatives, colors, or flavors. Of course, that would be the case if it's organic anyway. And it says cold pressed to preserve nutritional value. Again, that's why we want to do that. And what I thought was also cute on here, they have like a little table on the back. You can barely see it. If I kind of zoom in there for you guys, it will actually tell you, like, does this taste more fruity or does this taste more like vegetables? I thought that was so cute. It's got like a little meter on the side. Like, this is 2 servings in this one bottle, and it's 90 calories per serving, so 180 total. So that's not bad at all. If you look at the amount of sugar in here, 14 grams of sugar, of course, it's not added sugar. There's a fair amount of calcium in here, a fair amount of potassium, and there's even some iron floating around in here, which is great. There's 3 grams of protein in here. Now, what exactly does this drink have in it? This one's called Restoration Red. I love stuff that's red colored for a couple of reasons. We know red foods, or fruits and vegetables, rather, are good for helping with circulation, so that's a cool piece of this. And this particular one has tomato in it, and tomato is the first ingredient, so there's more tomato than anything else, which is actually a fruit. Most people are still confused at that when I ask them. It's not a vegetable. There's tart cherries in here. I'm like a big cherry fan, so when I saw cherries on the list, I'm like, okay, this is great. There's beet in here, which I love. Strawberry, apple, and lime. Let me tell you guys, this stuff tastes phenomenal. If you enjoy cherries and like the taste of cherry, to me, this tasted like cherries and strawberries. So it definitely has more of a fruity taste. If you don't care for beets, you cannot taste them in here. I do happen to like the earthy taste of a beet, but certainly if it's mixed with something nice and sweet like a cherry or a strawberry, that's great. Keeping in mind, too, strawberries and cherries are on the low glycemic index because they're both berries. So that's a good thing. And it tells you just like a naked drink. So they basically took naked and said, you know what, naked, we're going to kind of kick you in the butt and not only make an organic drink, without all these bizarre, weird things you're putting in there. So 7-Eleven is being a huge company. I do respect what they're doing here. Bravo to them. I give them props for that. In here, we've got 2 tomatoes, 1.5 beets, 12 strawberries, half an apple, exactly 18. I think this is funny how they do this. 18 tart cherries, and 1 lime. So, tomatoes have a lot of lycopene in them, which is really great at protecting cells. So I really think that that's a great thing to have always in the diet. Um, Beets and strawberries. Strawberries have a ton of antioxidants, so do beets. Beets are very good with helping out with blood circulation. So that's where we get that nice thing. So it's like a renewal kind of the body thing going on there. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking that. If you have any clotting problems or something along like the lines of that too, or at risk for clotting problems, this is a really good drink to bust up clots and things like that. If you have some sort of clotting disorder. The boost in here, so something that's uplifting that gives us energy is apples. We know that in the arena of nutrition. Apples are also good for your lungs if you're not aware of that. And that's saying the whole an apple a day keeps the doctor away thing. I endorse that 100%, to be quite honest. It's just, there's so many great nutrients and good fibers in apples. There have also been a couple of books, mainly from John Hoxsey, who was one of the pioneers of figuring out restorative nutrition for cancer way back early in the 1900s. One of the things he recommends for cancer patients is actually to stew an apple a day with cloves in it, and that either prevents, cures, or treats cancer. I actually can't say the word treats. I can say it supports cancer. So if somebody's listening to me out there from the FDA, I didn't say that it treats it. Notice a little mean eyebrow look there. Anyway, also, and this is like the last 2 ingredients with the cherries and the lime. Lime and lemon are both diuretics, which means they flush waste out of the body. So that's going to help for overall recovery, restoration in the body. And cherries are chock full of really great antioxidants, which is excellent. Um, there have been numerous studies on cherries. They have a very high vitamin C content, and they have also very high vitamin A content, which is lovely. So they really do put a nice balance on your nutrition back in. And like I said, I downed this thing like quick, like it was just so good. The consistency is similar to a naked drink. It is on the thicker side. So if you don't enjoy having a juice that is a little thicker, obviously you can just add water to it. If you want to zhuzh it up a little bit, since this already has lime in it, I'd probably do like a lime sparkling water with this. That would taste really good. I'll have to try that for one of my recipes for my upcoming lime book that you guys will get to see hopefully in June. We're really excited about that. So, excuse me. Let's see what else. The other thing too to note about this, unlike most things, it's not concentrated. So if I read you the ingredients on the back, it's tomato juice, tart cherry juice, beet juice, strawberry puree. So they're using the whole strawberry there. Apple juice, lime juice. So again, I really think they did a fantastic job with this. Go 7-Eleven. There are about 6 or 7 flavors of this in my local 7-Eleven. I've asked the gentleman that works at the counter if they have more flavors. I think there's 10 total. And this is called 7 Select Go Smart. So their whole Go Smart line, I have not seen anything so far that I don't love from the Go Smart line. So I really think this is awesome. So if you are running short on time one day, this is giving you several servings right off the bat of some good fruits and, the beet being the vegetable here. So I think this is an excellent thing. They have a kale-oriented drink that I have yet to try. That is going to probably be on another product review. I'll give that a shot next time. But I do like to review a lot of drinks. Another thing to keep in mind with this is that this is a glass bottle, and why would I care about that? We know all of the stuff that had gone on about 10 years ago with BPA being added into plastics. I remember when my son was born, I was hell-bent on not having him eat out of anything that had plastic at all whatsoever. So all his baby food was homemade, of course. And I never put anything inside of anything except for glass. Naked drinks are in these, plastic bottles. Always have been, even when Fresh Samantha's on them. And Fresh Samantha's is great. But knowing that this is in a glass container, a couple of things. One, you're saving the environment. Yay, I could reuse this if I really wanted to, if I rinsed it out. Or, of course, I can recycle it. But two, you're not getting any BPA in there. Why do I not want BPA in my drinks? Well, it infuses into the juice, and if or any type of liquid substance that you would put into a plastic container or a solid substance, it really doesn't matter which, if it's a solid or a liquid, and you would wind up getting BPA inside of your food, which causes cancer. That's been proven many times over, and that's just one carcinogen that's in plastic. There are many, many others, depending on the type of plastic that's used. It's really sad. Most companies today have been a little more conscious about that and have gone away from using plastics that do contain BPA. I don't know exactly how they extrapolate the BPA from the plastic, but that is something that is a common practice. So, yeah, I mean, from a 1 to 10 score, this drink for me gets a 10. I'm a big fan of cherries and strawberries. They're probably my two favorite fruits, if and that and grapes and mangoes. But yeah, definitely cherries have always been like a long time favorite. So I'm looking forward, for 7-Eleven putting out more of these drinks. If you do have 7-Eleven in your area, check these out. They're in the drink case nearby water, typically, and naked drinks. And instead of having a naked drink, you get to have this really awesome, organic, non-GMO, fantastic fruit and veggie juice. And again, you've got a variety of flavors to try out. And it primarily does, taste like cherries and strawberries. You really don't get, I can't taste the beet in it at all. I can tell there's beet in it because if you kind of look at it, see how it leaves a little bit of like a cloud on the side of the bottle as I'm going around. That's how you know there's still vitamins in here. So that makes me happy. And that's also how you know that this is not a concentrated juice. Concentrated juice we know is more sugary. It's not well processed, and could lead to things like diabetes. And also, I always tell patients, please don't drink your calories. It makes no sense to do that. Ideally, we should all be drinking water the majority of the time, and maybe you might want to supplement that with like green tea or something else that's healthy. So this is my recommendation of the week. Their cold pressed juice. That again, this is Restoration Red. There was another one that I had that was red the other day, and I don't remember the name of it. I do apologize, guys. I did not save the bottle for that one, but I haven't tried one. Like I said, I've tried like 4 out of the 7 or 8 flavors they have. I like all of them. So, yay, again, really cool product. I hope that you guys will give that a try the next time that you're floating around in a 7-Eleven. Certainly much better than getting a Slurpee, even though the 9-year-old or 8-year-old in me has an affinity for those. It's something my dad used to do for us every Sunday was to pick us up a Slurpee when I was a kid. I'd much rather have that stuff than artificially flavored cherry stuff. Hey, maybe 7-Eleven will be really awesome, and if everybody calls and makes suggestions, maybe they'll start making Slurpees from like organic stuff. Wouldn't that be so cool? I'd be really excited about that. And every now and again, as a treat, that would be fine. So I hope everybody's having a great day or evening, whatever time that you guys are coming to me from. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below in the comment box. Somebody tries it and likes this, pop it in the comment box below. One thing to keep in mind, guys, I've been blogging for Greg Kirk's Ticked Off Foundation. Greg is great, and I've got a couple of blogs up on his page right now. We actually talked about the keto diet this week because there's been a lot of nutrition research supporting that for Lyme disease and also for other things like weight loss. We're going into January, which for us nutritionists is a very busy month. It's weight loss month, or slash let's get healthy month. I think it's important to talk about those things. So we did feature something about the keto diet. That would also be good if you had a digestive disorder as well. In most cases, a lot of people move towards a specific carbohydrate diet. I find that doesn't work for everyone, even though that's an excellent book. And it really is an excellent dietary protocol. We've evolved a little bit further than that now. Thank you, Elaine Gottschall, for writing that. I mean, it's just an excellent book. I highly, recommend it, along with my book, the IBD Healing Plan and Recipe book. Excuse me. The only differences between those books are really the fact that you're looking at, having some all-natural dairy being incorporated in the specific carbohydrate diet. But really, it's similar to a keto, just not as high in fat as you would see. Again, they both have the same premise with the paleo diet as well, like no grains. For myself, I know I do better with a grain-free diet. Most of my patients who have IBD or IBS will do better with that. There's a few reasons for it. One, grains are usually only eaten at times of famine. So, or had been eaten in prehistoric times. I'm not, actually, it's not even prehistoric. We're talking about like 150 years ago. The only time you would consume those types of foods was if there was not anything else available. There's also an ongoing nutrition theory that came out around 2 or 3 years ago, stating that maybe it was 5 years ago. It was a while back, but it started looking at there is gluten in every grain, even in things like corn and rice, which have been considered gluten free. And I don't mean to confuse anybody. This is just based on a couple of scientific studies that said, hey, listen, if you're eating grains, you're still getting gluten in your diet. So it's evidently it's not supposed to be a harmful type of gluten. There are different substrates of gluten. There's gliadin, gliadin. There's several more that I'm just not recalling off the top of my head at the very moment. However, I thought that article was interesting, particularly because when I went gluten free 15, 16 years ago, when nobody knew what the heck gluten was, and people would ask me if I was talking about glue, when I would bring that up, it is a sticky protein, so you got it half right, I always say. But what's interesting with that is I remember going completely grain free. So I was basically eating a paleo diet 15 years ago before people were calling it that. And, geez, my face cleared up. Like I had bad acne my whole life. Like that totally went away. I lost 20 pounds without even trying, which was pretty cool. Didn't really need to lose the weight, but, I looked okay with, where I wound up with that. Um, so I feel like, again, eating as naturally as we possibly can. And again, this is everybody's body is different. So I'm not trying to say that nobody should consume grains ever. They could be healthy for some people. But you'll see the nutrition trend for the past 5 to 10 years has been grains are like evil. Um, we hear this periodically with all foods. Eggs are bad. That was obviously a myth that was debunked. Um, Salt is bad for you. I could do a whole video one day that we should do a video on sodium because people are so confused about that even in this day and age. You need sodium in your diet. You just don't need iodized sodium. So that could be another topic for a different day. Anyway, guys, so that was my review of 7-Eleven's Go what is it called again? Go Smart line. So yes, this is a smart drink. I would agree with their labeling on here. That was very clever. And let me know what you guys think. Everybody take care. Have a great day, great night. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.